Greetings. Welcome back to the Hopecast with
The
Richard and
Hopecast.
Steve.
Yeah. Well, welcome everyone. And remember, your only job here is to learn something and share us with your friends. That's all. That's all we can ask is that, we're going to say something that you can relate to or connect to in some way, or a spouse or whatever. We are going to be talking about prostate cancer because that's what we do on the Hopecast. And Richard and I, if this is one of your first episodes, well, let me tell you, there's a lot of stuff that happened prior to this, and we repeat some of it, but obviously not all of it because we would be doing the same show every week. And so we don't do that. But we had an interesting journey. Richard was behind me, and now I went ahead and I decided we were going to run out of things to talk about. I may as well complicate my recovery process. And so that's exactly what happened.
Tisk tisk.
It was, yeah, shame on me. But, I do it all for the show. I want to have some topics to talk about. So I figured, what the heck? A little reoccurrence isn't a bad thing, right? They classify it as chemical reoccurrence. And I'm kind of joking about it because I've already freaked out about this a lot. And I had to go today to do my very first PET scan. Done the bone scan and
You didn't do a PET scan. Wait, that's right. You didn't do a PET scan the first
yeah, see,
first go.
this is where we go. And people are asking why I went ahead and had surgery, thanks to our stories, without having a PET scan. And when my numbers came back, my friends, and it invaded as much as it did, and it was this huge thing on my prostate, I wanted it out of my body, regardless of what was going to happen. I wanted it gone.
But I'm
Um,
surprised they didn't do the PET scan just to make sure it didn't travel. Like it could have been in your lungs, it could have been in your brain, it could have been anywhere.
you know what? It still could be. Um,
Well, you're gonna
and
find out soon.
which is, yeah, thanks. Um, which is what makes this so crazy because everybody's journey is different. And we've talked about that, smooth sailing through recovery, or you have complications. Now, the people that cruise through, they're not on that support group. You got to cruise through and the clean bill of health,
Knock on
and
wood.
hopefully, oh, I'm going to do it because there is a chance you're going to have reoccurrence, right? It's like
Good chance.
40%, 60. I mean, it's up there with the reoccurrence, but it depends on where you started, right? The Gleason numbers and all of the things that go along with prostate cancer and trying to figure out why yours is different than ours. That's what it's all about. It's when you start dealing with the numbers and you start dealing with percentages and you get that pathology report on the backside of your surgery, if you go that route, that's when you get the numbers, because when they go in and all they're doing is taking little tiny core samples, and it's just a needle, and they're in there, click, and they pull this tissue out and they have to sample it, and there's 18 of those cores that they take during your biopsy. And of course, we've talked about this before. Do not skip the MRI prior to having your biopsy. You want an MRI guided biopsy. Richard and I both had that. And everything lines up and they're able to get in and specifically target areas they want to target a little more precisely than the blind shotgun approach of just stabbing it and jabbing it and trying to get a core. Well, my pre-surgery and the post-surgery pathology report were completely different. I was going in with 3 4s, 4 3s, doing that 7 thing. And then they said, no, you're 3 5, 4 5, but we're going to classify it as 3 5 because we found a lot, because your cancer only involves 60% of your prostate. It was like, hey, that's good news, right? No, that's ugly. So these are the things that cause you to make the decisions that you make, and do not try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and try to get through this. So why did I not have a PET scan? Why did I have a bone scan instead of the PET scan? Well, let me tell you, I did a little research on this, and some hold off on your PET scan until, like, in my position where you're trying to find something post surgery or post radiation. If you have a reoccurrence, they want to utilize that. A lot of times it's the dollar amount that's attached to that and your insurance. Because let me tell you something, they sent me that estimate and said your out of pocket on this adventure is zero. And I go, yeah, that's because last year, I met the deductible. It started over right afterwards. So from from September, September through now, I'm on a new plan until it rolls over again due to the fact that I work at the school district. So it's a different month to month thing, but I have already met this year's deductible. I did that in probably by October or so, and so now they're covering these things, and they accepted the PSMA PET scan, which is a prostate specific PET scan. And there's lots of different PET scans I learned, and this one is prostate specific, and it's so precise now, and they said that it's getting better, that sometimes it can detect things microscopically. Even it's going to show up. Others are under the impression it has to hit 2/10, right, point 0.2 before they do anything with the reoccurrence. Well, my doctor said point 0.05 is going to be that point. I hit it 6 weeks later, it was at point 0.06. We're going to do another PSA test prior to starting any of the radiation stuff. But today I went in and had that PET scan. And it was funny because my brain was going through the episode where you were talking about your adventure in the radiation world, where I thought you were kind of kidding when you said they locked me in a radioactive room by myself for an hour. They wouldn't let anyone
Not at
in.
all.
When okay, so I'm sorry. I thought you were just going, "Oh, that's funny. They left you in a room." No, they left you in a radioactive room. It has the boom right there on the door. I was afraid for a second Trump would start bombing it. He just saw radioactive something. No, no uranium. We're not going to talk politics today, are we?
No.
No, I saw your post. I think we should avoid it. But anyhow, so I showed up to this thing, and I almost left my phone with my daughter because she drove me to this appointment, and she goes, "Can I go back?" And they go, "No, no, we're in fact we're leaving this building." And so we walked out the front door of the Clinton and walked around the side door to get into the radiation wing of the cancer center, whatever they were doing on that. So anyhow, they came in, and 6 times they stabbed me to get this port started. And the only reason you have a port is to deliver the radioactive material that they're going to use as the tracer or whatever to hunt down any PSA that's in your system. And so they finally got that thing in. He goes, "The only thing that is bad," he goes, "now that we got this, as soon as I inject this stuff, I'm taking that out of your arm." So I was a pincushion for that. All right. So anyhow, we finally got it, and he goes, "Hey, everything's good. We're gonna give you this stuff now. When we do it, I need to get it done and get out of here."
Yep, he leaves
I said,
too. You're the
and I
only
said,
one in there, man.
Why?" It said, "Because you're gonna be radioactive." And do I get cool superpowers? I've done this, with tracers and stuff before. And they said, no, you could go to the airport and set off alarms and get tackled and try, they're going to detain you. That's about all the fun you're going to get out of this. But once I inject this into your system, I need to get out of here because there is radiation involved in this. And we do 8 to 10 of these things a day where we're prepping people for all this stuff. So we're exposed to it a lot. So they said, as soon as we do it, pull that port, wrap it, and get out of the room. And so I'm thinking, like you did, they're scared about being in the room, but I'm in the room with myself. So how much radiation do you get? It's like what, 2 to 3 years worth of radiation that you get in that hour? I don't know.
I was
Fact
very
check
I
me
was
on that.
very confused, like, you're gonna pump this stuff through my veins, and, it comes in a lead tube, like,
Mhm.
like, It's like the need 2 keys to open this thing
Yeah,
up and,
that's what it felt
like
like, yeah.
yeah, and then I'm like, "Wait a second, nobody can be in this room with me. You're gonna leave, but you're gonna pump this stuff into my veins?"
Yep, and I'm paying you to do this.
Yes, I
Yeah,
was like,
we're gonna
"Then you're
we're
gonna
gonna
stick me in a tube?"
yeah, and that oh my gosh, that took forever.
Yes.
I was thinking, "Okay, I've had the scans and stuff," and I'm thinking, "Alright, it's gonna be 10 minutes, in and out." No. It's like, "You're gonna be in here for, 30 minutes, 45 minutes until we're done. It's gonna be crazy. You're going from the top of your head down to past your knees." And I'm all, "What the heck?" And they said, "We're looking."
Head to toe,
And
man, head to toe.
yeah, so I said, "Okay, question." When I got done, I asked the question everyone asks that they can't answer. I go, "Well, what'd you see?" And she goes, "They will read it, and,
They'll let you know.
yeah, my opinion doesn't count." And I go, "Okay, but you've been doing this a while. Let's say you and I were talking about somebody else that just had the same exact scan I had, and we were looking at the screen. What would we have seen?" And she goes, 24 to 48 hours, you'll have your results. And I go, "You don't think I'm funny, so I'm leaving." And so, anyhow, that was about the torture, but, to drive an hour and a half to get tortured. And then I go, "Okay, now I need food." And so it was a weird choice for food. Let me tell you, if you don't have an HEB where you live, yeah, went in, went into HEB, you'll be proud. My wife bought me a electric smoker to replace the one that got destroyed.
Heck yeah.
I've had a couple. So anyhow, my daughter said we're doing this, and so we stopped by HEB, which is the ultimate store of stores in Texas and surrounding states, I guess now. But went in there and bought 5 pounds of chicken quarters and have those brining as we speak. And I bought a bone-in butt that I'm going to throw on there and do some pull. I need to fire it up. It burned for 3 hours to burn all this stuff off,
Yep.
factory crap. And then I threw a little smoke in the thing and I go, "Okay, now what?" I have to wait. So my daughter goes, "Well, I'm not doing anything tomorrow." So the first smoke on this thing, I'm going to start it. And then I'm going to leave and then come back at noon and see how she's doing with all this. So anyhow, playing with new toys. So, that secret rub recipe that you have, you're going to have to shoot that my direction so
Oh, I have
I can
plenty.
check it out. Huh?
I have plenty.
Yeah, that's what I'm okay. What are you going to put it on? I have some different recipes to go. Yeah, I don't know. Do people realize you're like a pit boss in your neck of the woods?
Um, yeah, so funny story, I was talking food at, my pelvic floor therapy, and, I was like, "Oh, you got yeah, they're a bunch of foodies, man, so we're talking food," and I was like, "Hey, on my next appointment here, I'm gonna bring in a bunch of ribs," and they're like, "Okay, cool." I don't know if they thought I was serious or not, but on my next appointment, it was 2 Mondays ago, I brought in a big o the Sunday like, the night before, I smoked 3 slabs of ribs and, individually cut them into bones so they're easy to for them to grab. And, when I dropped them off and then my following appointment, man, they were just raving about it. "Oh my god, how did you do
What you
those? And
bring
what you put on
today?
those?" And I was like, "Hey, all you gotta do is buy my cookbook."
Hey, okay, so cookbook plug. Where do they find your cookbook? You're supposed to hold it up and say, "This is what." Wait, you have a copy.
I have
Okay,
plenty
we
of
need to
copies in
know
my
what
car
this is called. Do what?
I have plenty of copies in my car because if I'm out talking and somebody's like, "Oh, you have a cookbook?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's right here," and I'll run and
Yeah,
grab it.
give me 25 bucks, it's yours.
Um, yeah, occasionally, I'll set
Oh,
up a booth
see,
somewhere.
I said 25 bucks, I just made up a price for your book.
It's $20.
$20.
20 for the paper.
Get
Th
5? Alright.
there's a paperback and there's a hardcover. The paperback is 20, the hardcover is 25. That's if you buy it from me in person.
Huh?
You go to Amazon and buy it online, it's, get this price, $17.76.
What? I don't you love it? Capitalism at its best. He goes, "Come use our service so you can lose money." You know? That's how Walmart used to do it.
Yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
wanna deal with change and stuff, so when I sell them, it's just straight 20 bucks or it's $25.
Just make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're a cookbook author. You're all kinds of different things, and
I do a
we
few things.
still have to get you talking to me on my deal so we can talk about all of the projects you have, because
Yes,
this isn't the only thing you do. This is the newest
yes.
child in your arsenal
Whenever
of
something
doing
happens in my life,
podcasts.
I turn it into something positive. I try to anyways. I do a lot of things. I stay busy. I'll just say
Well,
that.
that's true. Yeah, and you post pictures of all these really happy people that got to have free events because of you. So
Yeah, so
we'll
yesterday, as a matter of fact, so the events were on pause for 6 months for obvious reasons. I was going through cancer, yay me. So, yes, yesterday was my first event back, and I took 12, well, 11 plus me, 12 people to a Nashville Sounds game in Nashville, Tennessee, which is a minor
good,
league team. So,
right.
and so not only do we pay for them to get into the event, we pay for premium seats. We pay for their entire bill while they're there if they want food or drinks or whatever. Pay for the entire night, and then we wrap up and we go home. It's just
That's crazy.
it's my
So 11 people got to go. Is that like,
yeah.
couples, or hey, I have threes and,
Most of the time, so what I do is I send veterans, first responders, and Gold Star family members to great events. So what I usually do is I'll try to get 2 tickets, pair them up. Hey, do you have you have a spouse, you have a boyfriend, you have a cousin, son, daughter, whatever you can bring along with you. And then, there was a couple solos yesterday because somebody had dropped out, so I'd try to fit people in, and it was blazing hot. The one person that dropped out, she's a ginger, and,
yeah.
she didn't wanna be in the sun all day.
Said, hey, what did you sign up for anyway? And she goes, I was kind of hoping to go see some
Yeah.
football when
Well,
it
the
cools.
the weather was nice, then all of a sudden, like, this heat wave gripped America, and it's been last 2 days have been rough here.
Yeah. What was your high temperature today?
It was mid-90s, but, like, the heat index was 105.
Yeah, the humidity is what's socking everybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
Texas definitely has a humidity going on. But they said the humidity is going to drop, temperature is going to go up, and it's going to stay that way for the next 10 days. Welcome to summer in Texas. We'll be done at the end of October. Thank you for the ride. But we haven't had the 110, 105, 100.
Yeah.
It's been mid 90s. So I'm not going to complain. The tomatoes look really good. But yeah,
Everything
yeah.
here is washed out. We have had the wettest spring in the longest time. It's been nothing but raining up until 2 days ago. It went from mild and rainy to Satan's anus.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kinda weird when you start thinking about oh, never mind.
It is tough.
We'll see, I almost went political again, but, so now, um, I get to go have a CAT scan on Wednesday, so some more stuff that I get to,
CAT scan.
endure. Well,
I
they're
never
doing
had a
that.
CAT scan.
They're gonna do that so they can figure out how to make the mold that I'm gonna be in, because they form this mold to you that attaches to the table, the way I understand it, and then you're fit in there, and it helps line everything up. So when they're doing the radiation, it's hitting where they want it to go.
How
I
long you
don't
gonna
have
be in
any
the how long you gonna be in there?
in where
In the mold?
in the mold. Well, during the
Each episode or whatever?
procedure, yeah. So for that 15 minutes, 20 minutes,
Oh,
whatever they radiate you. When you get in the microwave, you're in the bowl, and
that's
then they they
that sounds
take you out.
expensive.
You know what? All of this stuff. Um, Prostate cancer has a lot of disadvantages to the pocketbook, as well as
Yeah,
your
it's
mental
nuts.
state. You have to stay on top of this stuff, or it will just eat you alive. And I've gone through some stuff lately, that I go, man, I need a break from the craziness, right? Well, I get next week off for 4th of July. The school closes down for a week. And so I have that time, but I was talking to my wife, and we were talking about some of the things that have to happen for me coming up, and she started crying, and she was like, she goes, I can't do this right now. I mean, my mind is going everywhere. It's so busy and crazy, and all the other things that are going on in our lives. And she goes, I need a break. And I go, okay. And she goes, I'm going to give you two choices. And I go, the beach. And so we're going to take off Friday and run down to the beach for a long weekend, and then get back, and I go into the rest of my vacation. She goes back to work, and I'm going to continue on, and I'm thinking that I get to start the radiation soon. So I wanted to do this again. I did it last time. Go to the beach, get grounded, you know,
Yes.
spend some quality time with my wife, because it has been crazy. So we've been running around a lot of times in opposite directions to keep up with everything. And I go, we need to slow down and just have some us time. So found this little place on the beach, and I go, this is going to be good. It was, I don't know why it's cheap. It scares me a little bit, but I go, worst case scenario, we get down there, we sleep in the truck.
Well, probably because it's gonna be hot as hell down there.
It's going to be in the upper 80s, and
Sure it won't.
cloud cover in the morning. It's going to be awesome. Get out there and get fried. Look for shells early in the morning, and find something to do. I don't want to do the touristy things, so I have some inside information from some people on beaches that I need to go check out. They go, seriously, no one's there, and I go, what? And they go, I've been there multiple times, and you're basically the only ones on the beach, because people they'll go to the hot spots. If you go in
Yeah.
between, take those roads no one knows about, it takes you to a private beach, basically, where you get to go have fun. I go, okay, I'm going to go check that out. So we're going to do that to get away, because this is hard on everyone. And so I was doing a little research on this, because I know, how do you help your family with all this? And the key challenges for all of that is emotional stress from the diagnosis and treatment. I think we can all relate to the stress thing, fatigue, physical side effects, because you're going to have that for the patient, shifts in the family roles and routines, because they may not have the energy to do everything. But they said open communication is crucial. And if you're not talking about your doubts and fears and things that are concerning you, you're going to let that boil in the background. It's going to be in the back of your brain. It's going to come out as ugly attitude. And you don't really want that to happen, because those are the people that are taking care of you. And, there's only so much grace that goes along with that. I've seen people that take advantage of that, and they play a victim, right? And then that
Yes.
causes you've seen it. It causes everybody to start regretting the person. Now, how long are they gonna be harping on this? It's a good cancer. What is he complaining about? But you need to talk honestly about your treatment and expectations. Let your family know how you're feeling. Do not keep that locked up, because emotionally and physically, you're going to go through stuff that they need to know. Encouraging your kids to be part of all of this. Let them know what's going on. Get a sense of what they think about all of this. And check ins, hold regular check ins with the family. Just go, hey, you guys, anybody have any questions? We need to talk about anything. If not, we won't harp on it. But guess what? Dad's going to go do something else now. So that's been something true with us. And protect your bond with your partner. And this is where a lot of people have problems. It's a loss. You're going to have a loss of stuff, depending on
Yes.
your side effects and
I have
all of
that
that.
loss of stuff right now.
Yeah, and so you're going to have to protect your bond. You're going to have to find other ways for physical intimacy, because it's going to change. Closeness rather, needs to be in there. Talk openly. Fear, grief, guilt. A lot of times couples feel isolated during all of this, because you don't want to ask for help. You don't want everyone in your biz, but at the same time, you want them to understand what you're going through. So the main thing is accept the support from extended family, friends, church, community groups, whoever is willing to reach out and help you. Don't think
Self-familiar. I think,
Yeah.
Healy said that.
I think it is kind of something along those lines, right? But it's true, and it's what I had trouble with is when I had my extended stay in the hospital because of the ugly stuff on the backside, the community rallied and people were helping us and bringing by food and helping my wife do stuff when I was in the hospital, and it was hard because we've always been the ones that want to help, and we're the ones that go, hey, we're not asking anybody for anything, but people were volunteering this, and it was still hard for me to accept it. And they said, wait, what they're doing is a blessing for them to be able to bless you, so just accept it and understand that if they didn't want to do it, they wouldn't be doing it. They're doing it because they care, and you have to just accept that, because you know what? Everybody needs help. Healy's words, right?
Yes.
At some point, everybody needs help, and you pay this forward. It's
All
like
that
we're doing right now.
all that stuff that you talked about for the last 10 minutes, I was too dumb to do any of it because I was literally in denial all the way up until surgery day. Like, there's
Well,
no way I have cancer.
yeah, you got it. I've got it. It's good. But see, then you then you said no big deal, and
I don't have cancer. What the hell are you
yeah, it's
talking about?
easy cancer. Yeah. All you have to do is do that. And people, if you hear us say that term easy cancer, I'm just going to say it every time we say it and laugh and don't make a
Sarcasm.
comment. It is sarcasm
Sarcasm.
to the way, whatever degree you want to get to, and then some, because people have actually said that to us. And I've read it online a lot. Well, at least you guys have that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, your breast cancer. Yeah, that's a good kind of cancer for. What are you talking about? It's the C word. It's scary, and you have
Yes.
to involve
Hey,
people.
on our last episode, did I talk about my Cialis,
No, I don't
so
think so.
here's another thing I wanna bring to everyone's attention.
All
Uh,
right.
so when I went to saw my doctor, he's like, "Man, you're literally crushing it for 7, 8 weeks out of your surgery. Everything's great. Your PSA is 0. My, leaking was starting to get under control." And, he's like, "Man, you're just crushing it." I said, "Okay, since everything is good now, let's talk about ED." He's like, "Yeah." And
Yeah, let's talk about that.
he's ta and he says, "We can do a pill, we can do, shots, we can do implants and pumps," and I'm like, "I don't wanna do anything extreme. I'd rather have, a natural erection, rather than, 'Hold on, babe, let me get my syringe out and jab this thing in it.'" Like, I don't wanna do that. So he goes, "Okay, I'll put you on, Cialis, and, we'll see how that goes." So he put me on 5 milligrams of Cialis every single day I take it.
Uh-huh.
And, so I send it off he sends it off to my pharmacy. Later that evening, my pharmacy calls me up and says, "Yeah, how would you like to pay for this?" I was like, "Yeah, you have my card on file. Go ahead and same as all my other medications." And they're like, "Yeah, this one's a little different. This one's $2,990."
What?
And I was like, "Huh?"
That's okay. Wait, you did say something crazy. You said that was a year, though.
That was for a year, $3,000 for a year. It was,
Uh-uh.
$275 a month or something like that. So, it's
Yes.
basically $1,000 a quarter. Like, yeah, no, $1,000 every 3 months is what it turned out to be.
Yeah.
So I was like, Hold on, let me make some phone calls." Well, it turns out my insurance company doesn't cover Cialis, even though I just had surgery, and my surgeon wants me to take this pill every single day of my life now. So, it just so happened I try to call my surgeon, but he's super busy, man. Like, this dude is pumping out prostates, like they're just stacking them up, man. Like, I didn't realize how frequent this is. I mean, urologists do more than prostates, but he's a very busy man. So, instead of dealing with him, I was like, "Well, tomorrow I have a meeting with my primary care. I'm just gonna talk to him about it." So I told him the scenario, and he shakes his head and he gets on his phone. He goes, "Here, you need to download this app, and it's Good RX." And I'm like, "What? That doesn't make any sense. Like, if my insurance is not going to pay for it." He goes, "No." He goes, look at this. He types it in, and the pill is for 3 months supply, $19 through GoodRx. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, how is that?
No,
How does that make it make sense? So if I
I
go from
can't.
$3,000 for 365-day supply,
Right.
it's broke down to like 275 bucks or whatever a month, down to $19 for a 3-month supply.
Yeah. You're paying 6 something a month.
Yeah.
Um,
So people, if you're in that situation, download GoodRx, man. It's crazy. I don't understand. I can't wrap my brain around this.
well, it's like when you go in with insurance to the doctor's appointment, it's like, "Hey, we're gonna do extra stuff," In the back of my brain, I think they do that,
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
doctor's
And
got to
but
make a Mercedes payment.
as something, but when it comes to medicine like that, because the Cialis,
That is
they started
ridiculous.
that right after I got out of the hospital.
Yeah,
It was
I
5
waited 2 months.
milligrams, and then they go, "Hey, you can take up to 4 pills for happy times," And you go, "What if 4 pills doesn't make happy time?" They go, "Well, then we're gonna do something else, and we'll try Viagra." And you go, "Okay, that's gonna do it. Yeah, you're gonna get a headache, and,
Yeah.
it's still not gonna," and you go, "Oh my gosh, what do we do?" And they go, "There's injections. Do you know
Mm-mm.
that? You want a shock on this thing. When you look at that, it is a compound, so it has to come from a compounding pharmacy." And they go, "Oh no, insurance doesn't do this. We'll give you a form to fill out for the insurance company, but my guess is they're not going to cover it." And I go, "So how much would that be?" And he goes, I know, it is expensive." And I go, "Okay, when you tell me that, that means it's something I'm not doing."
Yeah,
So anyhow, that is
makes
all
sense
part
now.
of this procedure, that it's that possibility. And they don't really know when they say nerve sparing surgery, we saved one side, then
Yeah,
it takes longer. They're saying 12 to 18 months before things are naturally happening. The reason you're taking Cialis every day isn't so you can walk around with an erection and impress your
right.
friends. It is to keep the blood flow going,
Yes,
and so
blood flow.
you don't have weird problems on the backside, because you can, if you don't have that going. When things do start working, you go, "What the heck is that?" And it's not what it was. But yeah, there's all kinds of things that you have to
Yeah.
be able to talk about.
Yeah, I'm
And
not
the
ready to
fact
do all that. Just
Okay, but my question is, did you ever think you would go, "Hey doc," you see the commercials for ED, and you go, "Just talk to your doctor." And you go, "Do you really want to admit that, your little
yeah,
buddy's not hanging with you anymore, or is just hanging with you?" And you go, "What are you talking about?" And so the whole process of discussing this stuff, I think before all of this, it would have been frightening. It would have been like crazy. Now it doesn't matter who's in the room or what is going on. If they ask you questions, you just answer it. And they go, "So what do you think?"
yeah,
Like you said, we brought it up, and you go, "Here's the steps. We need to try this, 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 and then your insurance company will help with this and this." But you have to play all the games and jump through the insurance hoops. And you know, I talked about this before. When do you get to just go, "Oh my gosh, this cancer can't be on my brain, right? I can't think about this." Well, when you're going through the testing and all the appointments and stuff like I'm doing again,
yeah, it's
it's
horrible.
all right back where it is, right? And
Everything's
you
in your
get
face.
that,
Yeah,
yeah, and you think about it a lot. And I go, but the sad thing is, it always ends up back to money. And people, your work may not give you time off to deal with this. You may, I mean, I'm in a situation where I took off work this afternoon, and I'm going to miss all day Wednesday because of all the prep they want me to do prior to the appointment. That's nothing you want to do at work. excuse me while I go in and give myself an no, you're not you're not doing that. But it becomes really front and center when, work can, according to the paperwork you signed when you got hired, if you miss more days than you have, they can punish you up to and including termination. And you go, oh my gosh, I could lose my job. Well, if I lost my job, I'd lose my insurance. And if I lose my job and
Exactly.
my insurance, my house and my family is going to suffer even more. And I am so sorry that I put them through this. And
Yeah,
Healy says,
that's
you
rough.
didn't put them through this. It sucks. It's something that you're going to get through. But
Yeah.
right now, it sucks. I don't think she used those words, but it's
Yeah, I think that's
there.
a huge part of it too. When I did it, I was on FMLA for 4 weeks, and because I
Mhm.
was on FMLA, I was eligible for short-term disability through work. My short-term disability didn't even cover a fraction of my paycheck if I was at work. So instead of getting X amount of dollars, I was getting
You got about a third of it.
yeah, I got $1,900 for the entire 4 weeks, which, uh,
Holy cow.
yeah, that's
Yeah. Okay, so
that
how
won't
can
even
they
cover
do
my
that?
house. My pa my
No, no, how can they do that?
I don't know, man, like,
And why does it become a money?
yeah, why is
It's a money decision.
I hate that. I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
Canada has that problem.
Well, you were 15 minutes away from the hospital.
Yeah, I'm right down the street.
I was 2.5 hours away.
Yeah,
And so
adds up.
yeah, it does. And then I thought, wait a minute, does the American Cancer Society help out
I have
with
no idea.
prostate cancer? They will, if you go a long distance, they have places you can stay, the hotels, that they work
Yeah,
with or whatever. But I'm thinking, how about gas? Because I am going to be spending 4 hours on the road for a 15-minute appointment for 8 weeks.
yeah,
And so my brain was trying to figure out, okay, when can I do this? And I said, well, if I go into work at 6 o'clock and then I work until 2 and I'm there and I do that and I'll be home by 6. And I go, that doesn't seem like so. I'm trying to figure out what time, but I want to do it in the afternoon because I can always go in early and I'm not missing as much time because they told me I can't do it by the hour. I have to go by the half day or maybe quarter day, depending on what I'm doing with this. And I go, can I wait till the end of the week and come close? And they go, you know what? We're not worried about you not getting the minimum hours. If you don't get the minimum hours and you don't want to burn vacation time, just go ahead and be shy 3 or 4 hours a week and we'll take it out of your paycheck. I mean, they're more than willing to take it instead of me burning all my vacation time, which I did last time, where leading up to it, I needed to take time off, but it was days and it was half days. I didn't need all that time. But then when it got on the backside and I missed all that work, I did the FMLA and like there was no money when you do that. Um,
yep.
because I
FMLA,
had to
you're getting
also
paid.
I had to pay for the person that wasn't there to take over for me. My sub that they didn't hire, I had to pay them anyway. Um, because it's part of the government system through TRS and all of the government things we have to deal with. But um, involve your family in all of this, involve your friends if you can, if you're comfortable talking about that, involve us in this, ask questions, seek
We're
some knowledge, you
we're
know.
definitely here for that.
Yeah, and I don't know, that's something we both came out of this with the same thing. Go, now I'm gonna bug people. What's your PSA? Because that is that first indication that there could possibly be something that they need to look at a little closer. It's not, oh my gosh, my PSA is elevated, I'm gonna die. No, that's not it. I've got cancer. No, that doesn't mean that either. There's steps that have to be taken, and you know, why did I have a bone scan instead of a PET scan? That's probably an insurance thing. It probably boiled down to that, but although it's the same insurance, different tier that I have this year because I had the high deductible. the first time through. So the cancer thing cost me like $6,000 to meet the deal plus anything, my 20%. So it was expensive, and it did put a hickey on plans and things that we were going to do. That car that we were going to get, we're going to hold off on that for a little bit. I'll ride the bike to work. I'll do
Yeah.
something, other than, I say bike, it's a motorcycle. I'm not going to exercise that much, but um, you know, I, the next thing on that list, and I'm going to leave my list, we'll pick it up some other time, is um, talking about support your mental health
Yes,
and consider family counseling
definitely.
or individual therapy.
Yes.
And I've thought about, I go, man, I need to talk to somebody. I need to make that happen. And I think like through the school, you can go better help that online thing, where you do it on a phone or video, however you do it.
Yes.
And you can have like 4 or 8 different sessions with them free. And I go, I'm gonna check into it and talk to somebody because this one's heavy. But yeah, meditation apps, journaling, a simple walk, reducing your tension and the stress. Get away from it. Have
I think
you
walking's
even?
a great one because
Yes.
it's twofold. You're escaping your mental issues, and you're actually walking is very good for prostate issues.
Yes.
Walk, walk, walk. That's the first thing I was told. Best thing I could tell you as soon as people in that support group, the best thing I could tell you is walk, walk, walk.
And when you think you've walked enough, walk some more.
Exactly. Yes.
How many steps are you getting in a day? And you go, well, let's see. Today was a slow day. I only had like 4,000 today, which isn't enough. They want you to have 10. And I go,
Yeah.
remember we talked about the heat? Where are you going to, where are you going to do that? Now see, that's something I was going to, have you noticed a acceptance in temperatures have changed for you? Where before, hey, I love 75-degree days, and now you go, I want it 70. I get hot, I get cold, I get whatever.
No, I haven't had that, but I've always been a, I guess, cold-blooded person. I was born and raised in Michigan, so I prefer the cold weather. I've moved to Tennessee 12 years ago, and I've never really adjusted to the heat. So this time of year, I pretty much hibernate until football season starts, and then I can go outside again.
Yeah. Yeah, but of course, the first month or month and a half of games here in Texas on Friday Night Lights, it's still hot. It's like, hey, we're gonna get down to 85 when the sun goes down and we're playing football. But no, I'm excited. Football season's gonna be interesting. You and I gonna have a huge bet on the line.
Yeah, our 2 teams clash this year.
Yeah, yeah. That would be a fun one. But anyhow, we'll have to see Kelsey back for one more season. Have you seen him? Oh, we talked about that, all the weight he's lost.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Taylor's doing that.
yeah, that's a hard pill for me to swallow because the whole Taylor Swift thing, man, come on.
Okay, I have a question. What do you have against Taylor Swift?
That's just not my style of music. Like,
Okay,
it's
but
all six-year-old girls and stuff, like, I'm a hair band from the '80s
okay.
kinda
All
guy,
right. Yeah.
that's all.
But does it bother you that she's out there doing 4-hour concerts, running around, looking the way she does, shaking her thing, doing her
No,
thing,
'cause
getting all these
I don't know what it looks like 'cause
well,
I never tuned in.
well, see, and that's a lot of people are, like, on this Taylor bashing bandwagon, kinda like Nickelback. Did you like Nickelback?
Yeah, I
Yeah, see,
actually
a lot of people won't admit they like Nickelback.
people love Nickelback, but, I mean, they've sold millions and millions and millions of records, but everybody
Uh-huh.
hates, come on. Why do you say you hate Nickelback when everybody in
Because
America has bought their albums?
because it's cool to be part of that. It's the same people bashing Taylor Swift and
So dumb.
I don't understand that one. I go, she is what, 35, 36 years old, billionaire, had the biggest
Listen, yeah,
concert
I
ever.
appreciate what she has done. Like,
Mhm.
like, the Taylor Swift movement is phenomenal. Like, she whatever she does it well. It's just not my music, man.
Yeah, but I like the fact that she's empowering these little girls
Absolutely.
to have, opinions.
Yes.
Now, sometimes she forces her political opinions on people, and that rubs them the wrong way, and my thing is, if you're an artist, be an artist. I don't go to the news or seek out websites to hear the newscasters sing or to
Yeah.
write poetry for me. I want the news to come from people that are supposed to do news. Your opinion, Neil Young, because you've written a lot of songs and been around for a long time. Yeah. It's like, please. Yeah. And
I
you
hate
go,
that shit.
please
I will
stop.
walk off. I will
You
walk out.
just we don't need your political jargon.
Yeah,
So
I came
stop.
here to get entertained.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. But anyhow, I don't know. Just because you're a big Swiftie, she did buy back her entire music
Yeah.
library
That was
and
brilliant.
all of that BS that she wrote when she was a little kid and the industry
Yeah.
took advantage of her. She bought it all back.
Yeah. I heard that. It's
So
brilliant. She
no,
is
that's kind of cool
yeah.
because now all these little Swifties can hear her on Spotify. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it's back on
Oh,
platforms that they kept her from being able to play her music on,
yeah.
which is kind of weird, but it
Yeah,
happens
I don't understand the music industry. Like, the Beatles didn't like, Michael Jackson owned every Beatles song. Like, doesn't make sense, and then the lead guy for the Beatles, John Lennon, he
huh?
wanted to buy his own music back and was denied. Like, how did somebody else end up with the rights to your music that you wrote? I don't
Because
understand
at
that.
some point somebody said, "Hey, we'll give you $500,000 for your category," and they go, done. I made my money off that. And they go, whoa, 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 wait, now you own what? And so a lot of that is a little shifty. And
Yeah, it's
anytime
shady, man.
there's money involved, you're going to have corruption and people corrupt and they make these artists sign things and they don't really know what's going on with a lot of that because they're not, for the most part, business guys. Except Kiss, Gene Simmons, if let's go that route. And, become ultra popular for your stage shows. So that worked too. So anyhow, we're kind of off track again. I like when we do this. Yeah. No, it's kind of fun. You slide out there and you go, wait a minute, what were we talking about? Okay, we're talking prostate cancer and involving the family and making sure you have support.
Hey,
And
back to Taylor Swift real quick.
oh, I knew you couldn't leave it alone.
The one album I do appreciate. Have you ever heard the band I Prevail?
I
Kinda
prevail.
heavy. I Prevail contacted Taylor Swift and said, "Hey, is it alright if we use your album? This is what we wanna do with it." And she said, "Yeah, that sounds like fun." So I Prevail took, one of her albums and turned it into, heavy metal, and it's amazing.
See, you like it. It's kind of like when they do some of those like the picking on series where it's all bluegrass, and it's like, that is a really cool song. Postmodern jukebox, where they take songs and then change it into little beboppy 20s,
Yes.
doing all that stuff. And the lyrics of some of these songs that we've heard forever all of a sudden they are really, really deep because they changed the music from the back. You go, whoa, they changed it up a little bit. Now I can understand what you're saying. That's a pretty cool tune. Or it works the other way and you go, is that what they've been saying all these years?
Yeah.
I had that wrong. No, they
Yes.
were talking about her when she was 15. Okay. So anyhow, no, I guess she was
And
16.
and
She's
you
beautiful. And Christine 16. These artists have things with 16-year-old girls, and you want to base your political opinions on them. Think about
yeah,
that. Yeah, think about that.
tough
Oh,
love.
they're just a bunch of alcoholic,
That's
drug
how
addict,
smart
hippie-fied,
America is.
crazy people. That's right. And you want to know what they think. So,
Yes.
anyhow, we don't know what we think half the time, so we're not going to do that to you. But, I know we're going to have words of wisdom here in just a second because we get to do that.
Before I do that, I have something to say, but unless you if
Oh no, I was gonna let you say something. I was just gonna tell people, please like and share us with anyone and everyone that you know that would enjoy this.
like and share, definitely.
That's what you were gonna say?
No, I got something else to say.
All right.
I like, this is not political. It's you're gonna think it's political, but it's really not. I just
Okay.
have something to say about this weekend. I just wanna take a moment to speak from the heart. As you may have heard, this weekend, America carried out airstrikes targeting Iran's nuclear facilities. In moments like these, tensions rise, not just on a global scale, but in homes across the country. So today, I'm lifting up prayer for every mother, father, for every wife, husband, for every son and daughter, and for anyone who loves someone in uniform. You are not alone in your worry. We see you, we honor your strength, and we're holding space for peace in days ahead. Let's keep our troops and their families close in thought, and let's never take for granted the sacrifices they make for the rest of us. Thank you.
That's awesome.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that, being a military guy and
No,
have a
you're supposed
nonprofit.
to. Yeah, you're supposed to do things like that.
So I don't
No,
talk
that's
about
cool.
politics, but you know, so a lot of bashing has been going on in politics today. But
Yeah.
I just want to take a second and say, I will be definitely praying for President Trump. That was not a hard. I mean, that was a very hard decision to make.
Mhm.
Thank God everybody came home safe. The plan worked out flawlessly. I couldn't be prouder to be an American today and to have worn the cloth of the American sailor. And as a matter of fact, my ship is over there in harm's way right now. And God bless those men and women.
There you go. Well, you know what? I don't know if we need words of encouragement after that. Yeah, we do. Yeah, you always leave it with something.
So I will give you this. Um, we're in this together. Never stop believing in better days.
That's true. I like it. I like it. All right. So until next time, we're going to have some guests coming your way. I know we said that, but with my appointments and everything that's going on, it's been a little goofy trying to sit down and make this thing happen. Sometimes we have to do it after everyone else goes to bed, which is kind of like what we're doing tonight. So we're gonna just keep these things coming. Please, let us know what your thoughts are. If you want us to cover something, do it. If you want to ask me the questions like you have, why did you do that without having a? I went through that one. The numbers were different than your numbers, and we would love to help you discuss that and talk through some of the processes that we've been through and go, well, here's what I went through. For whatever it's worth, it's not going to be the same as yours, but regardless of what happens, you keep fighting and we'll see you on the other side. That's how it pretty much has to be. Stay positive, get your family involved, and just share with information like this so we can help other people. So if you have any questions, yell at us.
If you want to jump on and tell us your story, let us know. Let myself or him know.
Or there and there. We don't know how it's going to end up.
Yeah, I have no
Sometimes,
idea.
sometimes that Riverside thing has a mind of its own.
Yeah,
And it
no
goes,
doubt.
I didn't do that, and it did it. All right, very good. Maybe some cartoon characters. We'll figure out how it works. But boys and girls, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we will do it again. Until then, you guys be good.
Next time.